Hey everybody, welcome back to the GEMS podcast. I'm here at the Crossroads Emergency Conference. It's a joint conference with the Indiana EMS Association and the Indiana Emergency Nurses Association. Happened to meet up with my good friend Dr. Antevy, so wanted to sit down and record a real quick podcast talking about Handtevy's involvement at FDIC coming up in 2026. We've got some serious energy that we're dumping into the EMS content at FDIC, and we're excited to have EMS providers in Indianapolis in April in 2026. But Dr. Antevy, for anybody that doesn't know you, tell everybody about yourself, and then let's unpack what you're going to be doing
Absolutely.
next year.
First of all, thanks for having me. Thanks for finding me here, and happy to be here. I'm Peter Antevy. I am, started off as a pediatric ER doc, but now I became an EMS medical director, and been doing that for 15 years. And I've tried to take, both sides of the house, the hospital side and now the EMS side, and try to bridge the two, mainly to show the world that EMS should be elevated in the house of medicine to where we belong. So we're valued as, folks who can actually bring people back to life, whether it's cardiac arrest, stroke, sepsis, pediatrics. I see so much value in bringing EMS up, and I think all of us need to be doing that.
Oh yeah, and I love all the things that you're doing. I just sat through a talk that you gave, and I specifically liked the rock tumbler analogy, where you're discussing that we've got to have a little bit of friction if we want to make things nice and smooth and improve what we're doing.
Yes.
In EMS, it's going to take some rocks bouncing into each other. You talked about that in your lecture, and it really resonated for me. And I think that that's an excellent relationship and way to look at it. It's like, this is going to take a little bit of friction, and change isn't comfortable.
It's not, and it basically takes friction and it takes time. So in other words, you can't just kind of take a rock and like quickly make it smooth. They have to kind of bump against each other, and that's 1 meeting, 2 meetings, 4 meetings. Maybe you actually go and meet the people in person, and you say, I want to change this thing. And then what I do when people come to me and say I want to change something, I actually want to see how engaged is that person. Are they going to follow up with me? Are they going to do what they said they were going to do? And all of a sudden, if you're that person who keeps showing up, and we keep screaming Bob Miller, may he rest in peace, he was that guy who said, I'm going to keep coming back at you until we actually do something. So that's rock analogy is true, not just because it takes friction to make things work, but it actually takes friction over time to make the thing happen. And there are people out there listening today who are those people. Not everyone is like that,
Right.
but there are people out there who are so committed to EMS that every waking moment they're going to say, I'm going to keep working to make EMS better. And I think we owe it to the profession.
Absolutely we do. And that's a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk to you about. Those are the people that we want to see in Indianapolis in April. April 2026 at FDIC. You've got some amazing offerings that you're going to be providing through Handtevy. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about that? A couple of workshops?
Yeah, so the first workshop I'm very excited about is our neonatal workshop. We're calling it NROC because it's neonatal and obstetrics. And for so many years, if you wanted to get your NRP training, you had to get it from a nurse who had kind of hospital mentality. And there was never really a course that was neonatal or NRP for EMS. So we assembled a team that I flew into my studio, and we put together some great content, and we're going to be bringing those people to Indianapolis, and we're going to, for the very first time, not just show didactic, we're going to go hands-on with the neonate and that newborn, because Mike, OB deserts, if you don't know what those are, it means that so many OB hospitals are closing, and most women are 50 miles away from the local center. Who's going to be treating those kids and delivering those babies? We are.
Yep.
Who's going to be dealing with PPH and eclampsia, preeclampsia? We are. This is a course that's dedicated to all those things. It's really the nuts and bolts for the neonate and the mother. Even up to 12 weeks after she's given birth, she could have significant hemorrhage. We need to be there for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
that's
I'm
course number
excited
one.
because
Yeah.
that's a huge gap.
Huge. Yeah.
So course number 2 that you've got.
Yeah, so course number 2, which we just revamped completely, which is our pediatric course. For many, many years, the concept was you bring kids to the hospital because the doctors will take care of them. I think we've done a pretty good job over the last 15 years convincing people that kids are saved at the poolside. They're saved in the living room. They're saved, in the car when they're seizing. We're not supposed to be rushing these people to the hospital. So what we've realized is that if you train the right way, meaning go age first, use a length-based tape second, but age first allows you to prepare for that 2-year-old so that when you get to the scene, you can actually look mom and dad in the eyes. You're not nervous. You're not yelling. You're not breathing fast. And all of a sudden, the parents will look at you and say, these people know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So our course is not so much about changing the science or changing your protocols. It's allowing you to get into a mental space so that when you hear 2-year-old, you hear 62-year-old, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And, we've had a lot of success in getting people there. We've now really taken the course to a whole nother level. And we're so excited to be at FDIC rolling that out.
Well, we're excited to have you there. And I will tell you from personal experience using your app, it's and I'm not telling you this just because you're sitting here, but it relaxes me to open that up and know that I have those resources that I can reference, and it is just so valuable.
Well, listen, I appreciate that you say that, mainly because I made a tenfold medication error in 2005 that I was embarrassed and ashamed of, and it hurts me till today. But now the more I talk about it, the better that I get at it. But I recognize that if I was making, and I love resuscitation, if I was making those mistakes, then I know many others are too. And when I got into EMS, you look at all the literature in EMS, it's rampant with, it's a flip of a coin whether or not you're going to get the dose right. So I said, well, what if we have the dose before we get there, and all of a sudden we're having better outcomes? So for me, I appreciate that you're saying that. Selfishly, I did it all for myself many years ago. And when it finally worked, I had the courage to tell other people that I wasn't so good at this either. So that's it's been a great journey.
Well, I'm really glad that you took that journey.